It's the ultimate competition. It's the ultimate human drama. It's Eco Challenge, an almost impossible mission in a race against time.
The Northwest Passage stretches 3,000 miles across the top of the world. For over 400 years, it has stood impenetrable to history's most heroic sailors, claiming more lives than Mount Everest. Out of the pages of National Geographic, an expedition that began with a dream ended with an achievement of epic proportions. Jeff MacInnis accomplished what no man had ever accomplished before. Aboard an 18-foot catamaran named Perception, powered only by the wind, his team sailed the Northwest Passage and lived to tell about it. In athletics, Jeff competed at the World Cup level as a member of the Canadian national ski team during the era of the Crazy Canucks. Please welcome Jeff MacInnis.
I really believe, and if you think way back when, I think humans have raced. Since the beginning of time, at the beginning, way back when, we didn't have the comforts we have today. It was just a race literally to eat and not be eaten. It was difficult. You didn't sleep a full night. You know, if the fire went out, the kids could get taken. It was tough. We evolved and became the most capable species on the planet because of our ability to adapt, adjust, accelerate, and win at a higher level, which you guys demonstrate so well. And I really believe now that business is the biggest race of all. It attracts the brightest minds, many of them in this room, the biggest dollars. It's not sports, it's not the performing arts, it's business. And I think racing business forward is critically important. What we want to do here for the next couple of minutes is just celebrate the capability of humans racing. I'm going to spend just 2 minutes on my background. Anyone who watched World Cup men's downhill ski racing on television at the Olympics? I was on the Canadian national ski team when Podgorski won the overall men's World Cup downhill championship, probably before some of you were born. I'm old. Racing in France, when you can't see his fear pouring through every vein in my body. But I think if you're not afraid, you're stupid. I think it's going forward with fear and managing risk, and I know it's your world as well, is critically important. But the hardest part about ski racing is you can't think your way down the mountain. It happens so fast. You go from the top of the Alps to the bottom in less than 2 minutes. Average speed 65 miles an hour, gusting up to 85, and it's just terrifically exciting, but very dangerous. So my background growing up ski racing, and then I quickly, after ski racing, got interested. Because of my dad, who was a doctor and explorer in the oceans, he took me to the Arctic when I was 10, got interested in the early explorers, and then we were able to lay a modern-day expedition, which I don't have time to tell you the story today, over 400 years of history. And we used this improbable 18-foot catamaran to do what they had never done before, which was to sail the Northwest Passage. And it was tough. It was really brutal. It was very difficult, but you live it every day. This was our competition. The only thing you need to know about polar bears is that they eat people. I hear your competition is similar. And indeed it is. It is. Incredibly tough, incredibly competitive. What we learned from the polar bears about competition is that you have a polar bear problem, you make it the polar bear's problem as fast as possible. But what we were able to do, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, was to take the obstacle, which was the ice for those 400 years, and make it an asset. The ice has, claimed lives, and destroyed things like the Titanic, but if you could use it as an asset, and that's what we were able to do with this boat, have the capability to go across the surface of the ice. It was hard. The Inuit who live up there, they said, it's great. This thing looks like, in the water, 2 of our kayaks. When it's on the ice, they go, it looks like our dog sleds. They call them kilometres. And then they looked at Mike and I, and they said, I guess you and Mike are the dogs. But this group knows what hard work is all about, and keep doing it again. We are raving fans. So we did cross the finish line, completed the 400-year-old challenge of the Northwest Passage. Quickly went to Eco Challenge. Just spent 30 seconds on this. Raced in Eco, New Zealand. 60,000 feet up and down the southern Alps of New Zealand. 500-kilometer long course. This race, we wanted to race with the top teams in the world. Do exactly what they did. And it fits in with what I'm going to challenge you guys to do in a moment. We were 5 days, 18 hours, slept less than 9 hours. The sleep strategy she talked about, which I think some of you guys employed last night, was you go to sleep at around 4:30, wake up at 6, go hard, get the caffeine going, and make it happen. I heard about the hospitality after this thing. And just, so we train the same way you train. Sleep deprivation is all about what you did last night. Dehydration training is drink a lot and then get up in the morning, so thanks for being here. But the interesting thing, we ended up 10th in the world in this race. And it was great to race with the best teams in the world. Automatically qualified our team for races going forward. What I love about this race is it was closest finish in Eco Challenge history. The Americans beat the New Zealanders by 18 minutes over 5 days racing. And the woman on the American team was 42 years old at the time, with her 18-month-old child there. So number one, women are incredibly strong athletes in this racing. And also, it begs the question, does anyone in this room believe we get better as we get older? I do. I do. It absolutely happens in business, absolutely happens in endurance sports. So that comes up very quickly to the race rules. And over those, the 40 years of racing, we've come up with these race rules, and they apply to anything. I think if you put the context around what I think one of the most incredible races of all was Race to the Moon. Remember when Kennedy said we would put a man on the moon before the decade is out? The truth is he had no idea how they were going to do it, but they lost the race to space badly. And it wasn't just about getting to the moon, it was communism versus democracy, and it mattered to everybody. And it did become Race to the Moon. So we're going to challenge you to keep racing your businesses forward, but think about making it happen in the context of how he did it. And I think whether it's Eco Challenge, or what you're doing in business, or in the other aspects of your life, or going to the moon, you need a great goal. Something that really matters to the people that are doing it, that is exciting, compelling, focusing. And it has to be important to you. Secondly, we need vivid visualization. Seeing things in our mind. Things happen twice. First in the theater of your mind, second in reality. One thing, again, I think this group is brilliant with is seeing it in your mind and visualizing forward what will happen. Certainly modeling and all those other things happen, but I would argue that the best technology for your area of TD is right in this room. It's the brilliance of your mind. It's the group genius of you collectively coming up with strategies and insights to make sure that you move forward in a great way. Has anyone been to Disney World? Walt Disney was never there, but he saw it so clearly in his mind. That's why it's there today. Vivid visualization. Ski racing was all about visualization. The hundreds of times you skied the course in your mind. I can see all of you as clearly as I can see the world courses in my mind. Seeing things before they happen. The third one, gather greatness, which is what I'm looking at here. People that make a difference in an organization. You couldn't do it alone. And as Yvonne said, who would want to? So gathering of greatness is about people, ideas, innovations that accelerate you forward. This one I used to think was unimportant, but as you can tell by Yvonne's presentation, I think it's now one of the most important. Encourage everyone. And who's often the hardest person to encourage? Absolutely. I don't think confidence is cumulative. I wish it was. And I grew up in an environment with ski racing. At World Cup, you had 3 coaches on the side of the mountain, 4 video feeds, split times. You had feedback since I was 6 years old. At World Cup, even heavily. I thought everybody loved feedback. They don't. I've lost friends by giving direct feedback. They love encouragement. And you can accomplish the same result by saying things. And we heard it when we were in kindergarten. Words hurt, but they also help. And we certainly saw it in Eco Challenge. And she said it so well, when your teammates deserve encouragement the least, it's when they needed it the most. So I would challenge you, if I don't get a chance later on in the session, be raving fans of the people in this room, because they have a huge factor on how successful you are. It's the fourth one. Last 2 quickly. Course correct. We saw that a lot at Eco Challenge. What Yvonne didn't mention is that you can go incredibly, I was a navigator of the team, you can go incredibly fast, totally focused in absolutely the wrong direction at Eco Challenge for hours. You get on the wrong side of a mountain range and realize you got to come all the way back. You can be 8 hours out in the wrong way, have to come all the way back. Ask her later about the Dismal Gorge if you can. Course correct is a positive way of talking about mistakes. And I think because of the educational system we grew up in, with a huge weight on making wrong and making mistakes and always having to be right. I think course correcting quickly, which is I get a sense of what this group does for the bank, making small changes over time makes a huge, huge difference. And course correct really works. It's one of the ones that's become language with a lot of the companies that we work with. The last one, momentum matters. A body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest stays at rest. A body on the couch with a remote control stays on the couch. This group has momentum. I've heard about it. I saw it yesterday. I certainly saw it last night. Momentum does matter in everything we do. Keep accelerating. That's how the 6 race rules sit together. And we're going to challenge you now to race into some of the things. Because for us, it's great to be involved in some of these conferences. But I'm a big fan of saying, okay, you learned a lot yesterday, hopefully some stuff today. How can you take it home and go action it Monday? How can you go make a difference with what you're trying to do? And I think the faster we can implement things makes a big difference. So those are the 6 race rules.